The Story of the Frog King. Once upon a time, in the magical days when wishes still came true if you wished hard enough, there lived a king who had several daughters. All of them were pretty, but oh my goodness, the youngest princess was so beautiful that even the sun would stop and stare whenever it shone on her face. Near the king's castle stood a huge forest with tall trees and singing birds. Deep in this forest was a cool, refreshing well under an old linden tree. On hot summer days, the princess loved to sit by this well. To pass the time, she would toss her favorite golden ball high into the air and catch it again. Up and down it would go, glittering in the sunlight. One day, wouldn't you know it, something unexpected happened. The princess tossed her golden ball extra high, but when she tried to catch it, oops! The ball slipped through her fingers, rolled across the ground, and splash! It fell right into the well. The princess peered into the well, but it was so deep and dark that she couldn't see the bottom. Her golden ball was gone. "Oh no!" she cried, tears streaming down her face. She sobbed louder and louder, unable to stop. "Hey there! What's making you cry so much, princess?" called a funny voice. "Your wailing is so sad it could make even a stone feel sorry for you." Looking around in surprise, the princess spotted a frog poking his big green head out of the water. His bulging eyes watched her curiously. "Oh, it's just you, you splashy frog," she said between sniffles. "I'm crying because my golden ball fell into your well and now it's gone forever." Now, dry those tears," said the frog with a little hop. "I can help you. But tell me, what will you give me if I bring back your precious ball?" The princess thought for a moment. "Anything you want. My pretty dresses, my jewelry, even my golden crown." The frog shook his head. "Nope, I don't need fancy clothes or shiny jewels. Here's what I want. I want to be your friend and playmate. I want to sit next to you at dinner, eat from your golden plate, drink from your cup, and sleep in your cozy bed. Promise me these things, and I'll dive down and get your ball." Yes, I promise," the princess said quickly, but in her head she was thinking, "Silly frog, what nonsense. Frogs belong in ponds with other frogs, not in palaces with princesses." The frog was delighted. "Deal," he croaked, and down he went with a splish-splash into the dark water. A few moments later, up he came with the golden ball in his mouth. He spat it onto the grass, and the princess squealed with joy. She grabbed her precious toy and zoom! Ran off toward the castle as fast as her legs could carry her. Wait for me," called the frog. "I can't run as fast as you can. Take me with you like you promised." But my dear friends, the princess didn't listen. She raced home without looking back even once and completely forgot about the poor frog and her promise. The very next day, the princess was having dinner with the king and all the royal court. Can you picture it? A grand table covered with delicious foods, everyone dressed in their finest clothes, and the princess eating from her special golden plate. Suddenly, they heard a strange noise at the front door. Plip, plop, plip, plop. Something was slowly climbing up the marble stairs. When it reached the top, there came a knock at the door. "Princess, youngest princess, open the door for me," called a voice. The princess jumped up to see who it was. When she opened the door, eek! There sat the frog from the well. She slammed the door shut and ran back to the table, her face white as snow. The king noticed her frightened look. "My child, what's wrong? Is there a scary giant at the door trying to kidnap you?" No, she answered, her voice shaking. "It's just a gross, slimy frog." "And what does this frog want from you?" asked the king, raising an eyebrow. The princess squirmed in her seat. Well, yesterday I was playing by the well and my golden ball fell in. The frog got it back for me, but only after I promised he could be my companion. But father, I never thought he could actually leave the water and follow me home. Now he's at our door wanting to come in. Just then there was another knock, and everyone heard. Youngest daughter of the king, open up the door for me. Don't you remember yesterday? What you promised by the well? Youngest daughter of the king, open up the door for me. The king looked sternly at his daughter. Little one, when you make a promise you must keep it, no matter what. Go and let the frog in. With dragging feet, the princess went and opened the door. The frog hopped in, hippity-hop, and followed her right to her chair. Lift me up beside you, he said. The princess hesitated until her father gave her a look that said, do it now. So she lifted the frog onto the table. Now push your golden plate closer so we can share, said the frog. Oh, how the princess wrinkled her nose, but she did as she was told. The frog munched happily while the princess could barely swallow a bite. When the meal was finished, the frog patted his full tummy. Whew, that was tasty. But I'm so tired now. Please, carry me to your room so we can go to sleep in your nice bed. The princess began to cry again. You see, she was scared of touching the cold, damp frog, and the thought of him in her pretty pink bed made her shudder. Don't look so disgusted, said the king firmly. He helped you when you needed it. Now it's your turn to help him. So, with just 2 fingertips, she picked up the frog and carried him upstairs. She placed him in a far corner of her room and got into bed. But soon the frog came hopping over. I'm sleepy too, and I want a comfy place to rest. Pick me up, or I'll tell your father you're breaking your promise. That was the last straw. The princess was so angry she grabbed the frog and threw him against the wall as hard as she could. There, now leave me alone, you horrible frog. But what do you think happened next? Poof! When the frog hit the wall, he wasn't a frog anymore. Standing before her was a handsome young prince with kind, twinkling eyes. The princess gasped in amazement. The prince smiled and explained that a wicked witch had turned him into a frog. Only the princess could break the spell by letting him eat from her plate and sleep in her bed. According to her father's wishes, he was now her companion and husband. They talked until they fell asleep, dreaming of their future together. When the sun peeked through the curtains the next morning, a magnificent carriage arrived, pulled by 8 white horses wearing golden bridles and white feather plumes on their heads. Behind the carriage stood the prince's loyal servant, Heinrich. Poor Heinrich had been so heartbroken when his master was turned into a frog that he had placed 3 iron bands around his heart to keep it from breaking into pieces. Heinrich helped the prince and princess into the carriage for the journey to the prince's kingdom. As they traveled, the prince heard a loud crack. He turned around quickly. Heinrich, is the carriage breaking? No, my prince. That's just one of the iron bands around my heart. It's breaking because I'm so happy you're human again. A little while later, crack! Another band broke, and finally, crack! The 3rd band snapped, and Heinrich's heart was free to be completely happy again. And so, my little darlings, the prince and princess lived happily ever after in their beautiful kingdom, proving that keeping your promises, even when they seem silly, can lead to the most wonderful surprises in life. Remember that next time you make a promise, won't you? Thank you for listening, and I hoped you liked this story. If you enjoyed it, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I have plenty more fairy tales for you.